Okay. Thank you, Steve, so much for coming to hang out with us for our leadership retreat and talk to us about maximizing income and just potential in the business. So I'll just turn it over to you.
Yeah. I'm really excited to be here. I love talking about this stuff. And I think it's such an important thing to talk about because so many people, before they're making money, they don't realize what things to do on a daily basis to set them up for that and to bring all that volume in. So really what I'm going to talk about is the big picture. And you guys, this is all stuff you've heard before, but know when you hear it now, it's in the context of like, this is the action items that you need to focus on in order to build money, right? So the big picture that I want all of you guys to really think, I mean, when you have a power hour that you don't know what to do, like check these boxes off too, because these two things that I want you guys to focus on are the primary parts of building this business, and social media, all that kind of stuff is like secondary. Like if you're not doing this, none of that stuff matters, okay? So first, for a lot of you guys, what do we have? I mean, is this diamonds and above? Like what, yeah, okay. So for a lot of you guys, I'm assuming don't have any business builders now. Maybe you just hit diamond to get to the retreat, whatever. Some of you might, but know that if you guys already have business builders, all of this stuff you need to take even better notes, because it's not just that you have to be doing it, but you have to be doing it really well and teaching it to these people to make sure that they're doing as well, okay? And really, you hear a lot of people, I mean, I hear a lot of people in this business, and there's like two ways of looking at it. You can look at it of like an exciting business network marketing opportunity, or you can look at it as like a fitness thing. And for us, Jamie and I are 100% fitness thing. And until that whole thing has been established, and then we kind of go over to where the business is fun and all that kind of stuff and how this business grows and talking about that. And really what I'm talking about is like your advertising and how you talk about this business. If you have a business that's making good money, great, you can talk about it. But I think one mistake people make is they sign up and they start talking about that, and everyone knows they don't have a business yet, right? So for the whole foundation part, I want you guys to really make sure that you're being mindful fitness coaches. That doesn't mean personal trainers, because obviously in this business, they've done all the hard stuff for you, right? So like the personal trainers, make sure everybody has good form. Like all that stuff is done, and your power is connecting and bringing people into the community aspect of it, and really focusing on these two main things. Okay, so number one is consistently adding new people. Okay, that is Success Club. But it's so much more than Success Club, because it's not just, okay, I just added somebody else, I'm at 2, I need to add somebody else, I get to 4. It's, I just added somebody else, I need to make sure they get started right, I need to make sure I introduce them, I need to make sure that if they have any preliminary questions, I need to answer those. You have to make sure you do all those things, because otherwise it gets so easy to be like, oh, I'm just going to dump them into my group and they'll kind of, I'll teach them as we go. That personal connection in any place that you can insert a one-on-one, it's going to be great for your business. And obviously, as we build a business, that's going to become harder and harder. But by that point, you'll be really good at recognizing when you need to and when you don't, right? And when you can kind of lead people as a group and when you need to focus on somebody one-on-one. This is the same for business and fitness. Okay, those things run basically parallel. If somebody's having a hard time getting results, you got to dive down one-on-one with them. If they're having a hard time hitting Success Club, you got to dive down one-on-one with them. So consistently adding new people. Number 2, these are the only 2 things: consistently adding new people and getting everyone results. Okay. And think about getting everyone results. That's your job. That's their job. Fitness is hard. You can't expect everybody to get results, but if you're mindfully approaching it that way, big picture, we have a ton of leaders. That's an awesome thing about our team. We have a lot of elite coaches. We're going to have even more. None of them have gotten there without doing these things. There's no way around it. And really what it falls down to in results is if you want to get other people results, you have to do it for yourself first. Because for the most simple reasoning for that is the business is 10 times easier when you can just show your own body and say, I have personal experience with this process. If you can't do that and you're showing other people's photos and maybe you're not there yet, you can still build a business, you can still help other people, but it's harder, okay? So your results come first and you really got to lead from the front. So Now I'm going to break down those two little things. So, right, consistently adding new people, getting everyone results. New people. This means Success Club every single month. This doesn't mean Success Club 100. That's not the goal here. Jamie, her, I mean, all of the great things about our team, like being 15-star Diamond Million Club, all those things were built by one metric, and that's the fact that she's hit Success Club every single month for 66 months in a row. If you can have your streak is massively important. And I get it. Sometimes on months, it doesn't seem very important. And if you did mess it up, you can get right back on it. But when it comes down to it, that consistency, basically what you're doing is you're using that consistency and the compound effect to blow up your team. So every time you miss Success Club, you're kind of erasing the cumulative effect of all that momentum you've been doing. So it's a big deal. So if you're just starting this whole Success Club trying to get every month, or let's say you're behind in who you've been talking to, it's going to be really hard. So know that. It doesn't mean you're bad at this. It means that you need to focus more time on it, more energy at it, get better at it. And you got to really keep in mind that nobody, and I say that pretty certainly, I mean 99.9% of the people aren't very good at hitting Success Club when they start. It's a skill. You have to learn how to do it. I don't like talking to strangers, but if I know it's building my business and this is the pipeline I need to do, you bet I'm willing to do it, right? So it's a skill, and don't be hard on yourself if you guys aren't good at that right away. But ultimately, what it comes down to is, especially if you're a diamond, you're trying to really explode your business, the tendency is to try to create your business builders, and you can't really do that very well when you start off. You want to find your business builders first. And that's where Success Club and getting everybody results pans you through a ton of people. You get all those people, do your best to get them results. And what you're doing is not just building the foundation of your business, but you're prepping all these people to be leaders. Okay. And by hitting Success Club every single month, 3 people, I'm combing through 3 people every month to find my first business builder. That might take 6 months. It doesn't matter, because the first person to really run with you is the hardest, right? And if you're trying to create that, they don't have really any example except, certainly following you and seeing how you hit Success Club, but usually there's this gap between you and your upline, or you and your downline, I guess, with what I'm saying now. And they just look at you as somebody who's already built the skill set that they don't have, and they kind of put you on this little pedestal. As far as like, oh, you can hit Success Club every month. I can't. I'm not meant to do this. You got to break down that barrier. And the bigger you get, the harder it is, right? So like Jamie works very hard to make sure that every new coach that signs up realizes she's a quirky, weird girl from Michigan, not this 15-star diamond like crazy. But that's just a cumulative thing that we've been building in the background, right? So it's really important. You got to find your first business partners, or look at it that way. You can, help. It's very hard to get somebody who's not really motivated to do the business, or maybe wants to dabble with it, and make them into a badass. You have to find somebody who already has that same mentality as you, and then take them in one-on-one and really roll that way. But I think that's the best way to do it. The tendency is kind of to hit diamond and then to look at your team and say, okay, who wants to be a diamond? I need to be 2-star. Just keep going. Just keep adding people, and it'll come if you look at it that way. So with everyone results, this is a huge thing, and I'm going to draw up why these numbers matter. But if you're getting everyone results, you're never replacing people. You're never replacing the Success Club numbers. You're never replacing volume that was coming in and now it's not. When you get everyone results, you're creating lifers, and that's people that are connecting with, let's say they come in with Shakeology. Most people that I know that I get results with Shakeology or with a program, they end up buying Energize, Hydrate, creatine, protein, everything. It's like a gateway drug into all the other things, right? Only if they get results. If they don't get results, they'll go 1 or 2 months and they'll cancel their order, and you'll be working and grinding to replace them instead of, maximizing everybody that's on your team. It's a really, really big point. And I think not a lot of people really focus on how massive that is, because it happens in such many steps of getting somebody with results, right? It's easy to check out in that process. So to be a really great coach, you have to constantly set reminders and be like, you know what, I haven't really checked in with this person. It's been way too long. Or for us, like we'll get a cancellation and we'll just be like, damn it, that's somebody I should have checked in with and it totally slipped by. There's no reason they should have ever quit. This is my fault, not theirs. You never want that to happen, right? So those are the biggest things. If you guys haven't really developed a process for getting, people in, like, Success Club, if you don't have a good process for a challenge group, stop and focus on those things right now. I mean, those are the biggest things. And I think a challenge group and a good idea, first of all, if you set up a great challenge group, you're going to have to keep changing it, because even a great challenge group gets boring if the same people are in there, doing the same thing. So focus on that. But really, if you have a great challenge group and and this goes for your coaches too, who are starting challenge groups, if they have something they're proud of, they're going to go invite way more to it. If they're not very proud of it, let's say, and that could be they have a great one, but they're afraid of running it by themselves, whatever it is, if they're not proud of it, they're not going to be inviting. And then you'll hear things like, nobody's saying yes. No, they're not inviting anyone because they're super self-conscious of running the thing by themselves. So for us, we take new coaches. Jamie takes new coaches, and she'll, if they're doing stuff, if they're pushing for Success Club, getting results, and they're kind of starting that, that whole path to being good at the business part of it, she lets them run her challenge group with her and just kind of holds their hand and teaches them this is how to run an effective challenge group. It's really, really important, because I think people try to go for the business before they're realizing the main components of what this business is, right? Constantly getting new people in, doing your best to get them results. That turns into big, big, big money, and I'll show you. So those are the primary things. And then if you're doing those things really well, especially with Success Club every month, all you have to do is let the compound effect roll, because it's going to work. There's going to be ebbs and flows. Success Club might be harder one month, might be easy one month. It doesn't matter. Like, Success Club is one thing that you have to have a no excuses approach to. The second that somebody says, like, I had a really hard month and I did this and did this, and I'm like, those aren't excuses. Those are great reasons. But if you want to build a big business, you got to get around them. And if you're not willing to do that, that's totally cool. So when somebody comes at me almost like mad because they didn't hit Success Club and they know that I'm like, you have to hit Success Club every single month. When I hear that kind of crap, I'm just like, oh yeah, I know, I totally get it. Life happens, but you're not really the grinder that's going to make this work. Like, you didn't stop going to work because that happened. And that's exactly what this is. People think in this business, they can just check in, check out, and you just cannot do that at all. Is the connection pretty good? I'm seeing a little bit of choppiness.
You're okay. Yeah.
Good? Okay. So other than that, everybody here is diamond or above, and my 3 steps really that I want you guys to focus on from a network marketing standpoint and to where to expect the money to come in. Diamond's the first one, so you're all there. Great. Number 2 is solid diamond. It's very, very, very important. I'll show you what that looks like. And number 3 is 2-star. 2-star allows you to have a business underneath yourself, effectively becoming your own business builder and doubling the amount of productivity that you can have. If you've got a spouse, you can triple it. So that's one thing that I want you guys just to have as your main goal, is to get to 2-star. Because after that, you've helped somebody hit diamonds. You've been getting enough people results to where they're not just quitting your team as they come. Like, you're having this accumulation of your team growing. And after 2-star, it's really just rinse and repeat. I mean, you're duplicating your thing. You keep going, and anybody who wants to run with you, you teach them the process that you just went through. That's all this business is. It's very easy to jump to elite, 5-star, 10-star, 15-star. All of that, all of those people that are there, they're either set up to make a lot more money than your goal probably is, or they're currently making a lot more money than your goal is. Okay. So for me, full-time, 50 grand a year, that's what I consider it to be. I mean, if you left college, went into your business that you thought was going to be comfortable, and then you ended up hating it. I mean, Rachel, yeah. You end up leaving teaching, like any of that stuff, like 50 grand is kind of the pull to be able to, use that as a mark to make this legit. So I look at that as $1,000 a week, and I look at that as only team cycle bonus, because that is the only residual component to really making this an empire, right? I don't want you guys grinding at SC 100 just so you can make enough commission money.
Because it sucks. That's what I do.
Well, and it's it's a never-ending grind until this residual component comes in and just solidifies it. Like the amount of money we make in commissions is like 0.01% of our paycheck. It's nothing. But when you're a diamond and everything before being a solid diamond, commissions is the only thing that you can make money on, and it's the least lucrative out of the four, right? You have commissions, you have team cycle bonus, that's our monster. Matching bonus becomes the monster later, and then rank bonuses that you don't see before 2-star, right? So all those things are the big money. Commissions are something that it really hurts people. I shouldn't say it hurts people. It's a struggle for people that are getting started because they see this commissions and they immediately, they don't think exponential. They don't think about the other things that can pay them. They don't understand the other things that can pay them. And they just think linear, okay, I have to sell 1,000 challenge packs to be a full-time coach. Like right. That's kind of what they think. And that's not at all what I want you guys to look at. So let's look at this real quick. So I'm going to go back to Emerald, even though nobody is there. Again, it is imperative that you guys can explain this process to your Emeralds. And the biggest thing is what I see is just people expecting the money when they shouldn't be. And so that's why I say diamond, solid diamond, 2-star, because you want to make good money. If you came in here saying, hey, I want to make $100 a week, I said, you can do that a million different ways. You don't need to talk to me because that's not a big goal, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to show you guys the steps for the big money. So here's where your Emeralds start, okay? Just a recap on team cycle bonus, 200 and 100, right? That's what we need. Doesn't matter what side it's on. As soon as this ratio and volume is on either leg, you cycle one time. If that's as an Emerald, it's $14, diamond, $18, yada, yada. You guys know that kind of stuff. Well, when people first experience team cycle bonus and they hear somebody like me saying, oh, it's the most lucrative thing ever, and they have to sign up 5 people. If we just look at Shakeology, let me get out of this. So Shakeology is 90 PV, right? So if we just look at this, in order to achieve one cycle, we have to sell 3 challenge packs, sign up 3 people over here. And in order to cover that, 2, really 1, but 2 for this to be exact. So you got some rollover volume, but really what you're telling an Emerald who signing 5 people is really hard for them, right? 5 people, when I see somebody who's got 5 active coaches, I'm like, okay, you're over the Emerald hump. You're well on your way to diamond. I'm going to start. Like, that's when I kind of check in and start working with people. But when they first experience this, 5 people, super hard. They finally get it. It allows them to cycle 1 time per month, and that's $14, right? So the second somebody experiences this, they're like, this business sucks, and they're gone. This is why most people quit right here. They have no vision. They're doing their 1 or 2 month test to see if the business works, and this scares them up. And that, I hate things like vision and belief and whatever. They're so abstract, like it's hard to make a goal on that. But it is exactly what you need to just put, I'm not in the spot where I need to be right now. I'm going to put my head down, and next year I'm going to judge it again. That's kind of how you have to do it. So our 3 steps, diamond, right? Diamond's here. So here's you, here's your legs, and here's diamond. So we've got 3 active coaches on one side. Again, you're getting people results. They're going to stay active. And this is going to be a battle if you're not focusing on getting them results, because it's going to be 1 month. Oh, I didn't hit Success Club. I only brought 1 person on. I didn't get anybody results. 2 people quit. Now my team is shrinking, right? That's why those 2 things are the most important. You get people results, they stay. You hit Success Club, you add to it. Very, very simple, right? So this is my diamond. And what I want to do for solid diamond is I basically want a diamond structured team that cannot be affected by anybody, right? I want to control my entire team. So that means I need to have 6 active coaches. And as far as the Emeralds go, you got to keep in mind, Emeralds are making no money. They're testing the business. They might not even really try. They might sign up their mom and their spouse and never reach out to one single person. So my Emeralds are just as volatile as anybody else. And maybe I know their game plan. I know they're hitting Success Club, so I trust them a little bit more. I'm working with them. But unless I control them, in order to truly be solid, I want 2 of them. If this is Sarah, and Sarah just signed up and she hit Emerald, I want 2 of her, because if she decides this isn't for her, I cannot let that affect my diamond structure. Can't, okay? So if this is my husband or whatever, husband, wife, whatever. Not a boyfriend, okay? I've seen some really dumb things where people put business centers under a boyfriend and they quit, and you're making your ex-boyfriend money for life. Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes. Okay. So this is my spouse. So right here, this is when I say number 2, solid diamond. So for a lot of you guys, this is probably the goal right now. And use what I said. Hit SC every single month, get everybody results. That might mean you have to recheck in with people, whatever. Once you get here, you can look at your business and say, where's my volume heavy and where's it light? Which one is my weak leg? So if you signed up with somebody who's giving you volume, you'll have a strong leg. If not, if you're signed up with somebody who's giving you volume and you're a hot shot, you won't even notice it because you're building more than you're getting. So it doesn't really matter. You just need to know which one's the weak leg, because for the first time in your business, you can build weak leg volume once you're solid. So when people say, oh yeah, I'm not building any team cycle bonus, I'm like, yep, you're still scratching to get from ruby to diamond. I wouldn't be focusing on building team cycle bonus yet. But when you get here and your diamond team won't, and a lot of people don't solidify it correctly, so they start building for weak leg volume and then immediately their diamond collapses. And don't get me wrong, the whole point of this is I can build weak leg volume, and if my diamond starts to collapse, I go back and immediately re-solidify it. Like the goal is to be very proactive with that. Don't let it fall and get it back. Be the person who never loses it. That's a really big thing. It'll make your business a lot easier. So, because once we start shifting to try to build for income, we want to really stay in that spot. We don't want to start, the cool thing about this is when you get to this point in the business, the people that you're recruiting are higher and higher and higher quality. I mean, people that we recruit now are like, I know everything. I'm down to get results. I want to build the business. I know I got to be too, like they know the whole spiel before they even sign up because, we've marketed it for so long on what to do. But if we look here in our same example from our Emerald, 5 people paid us $14, right? Well, now for the first time, we can look at this and say, okay, I'm going to sign my next 5 people all on my weak leg, right? When these higher quality people come in, I don't want to have to go back on my strong leg, because if they blow up, it's not going to make you any money unless you have equal volume on both sides. Then it's a great thing to go back and forth. Yeah, and that's a good point. If somebody here doesn't have a strong leg, there's tons of people in our downline that don't have a strong leg or don't think they do yet because they just signed up. Just go back and forth, and you'll build your rank so much faster. You'll be elite, and then you use that to build your volume wherever that leg is weak. But in our same example of 5 people here, after you're a solid diamond, this now at $18 a cycle becomes $90 a month. Okay, 14 to 90. We're cycling directly on every single person. So great, we brought them in. We brought our 5 people in, 3 people, whatever you want to do. 5 is just an easier example with numbers. But here's the test. If you can get them results, okay, they're going to reorder products. They're probably going to order more products, but they're going to reorder what they've got. And then you add 5 more people, and the next month, that 90 goes through again, and you add to it, and now we're building team cycle bonus. That's why those 2 things come into play. Consistently getting people in and getting them all results. If not, you're going to go 90 new people, 90 new people, 90, and you're never going to build on that because people don't. If somebody doesn't get results with the products, it doesn't matter whose fault it is, you can't expect them to buy more products, right? It's just very straightforward. That's why we go hard with the fitness, because that's what goes hard with the volume, okay? So this is our test right here. When we add people, if we can get them plugged in, get them results, then with 5 people, and just here, we don't even have business builders, and you can see how the team cycle bonus can be directly affected for the first time, okay? You can see all that, cool. So now, 2-star. So in order to get to 2-star, if you got a spouse, you can recruit for them as long as they're plugged into the business. Don't worry, I ran that by corporate. They change that philosophy every time. So I did a call. I did a call for them recently. I was like, you guys better be very clear on how you want me to say it. So they said, anybody it falls in your U+2, if they're involved in the business, you can recruit for them. That's what Jonathan Gelfand said at leadership last year too, and we videotaped it. So
you're good. We're covered.
So we're covered. So anyway, so let's say this is our spouse. I'm going to drop spouse down here, just so I can draw with it. So what we need for 2 stars, we need a diamond on one side and a diamond on the other. Well, if you're getting everybody results, you have much better chance at people working the business, right? So this is where you got to be careful and not create business builders. And maybe you just need to keep recruiting to find people that want to do this. Because the second that you try to influence somebody to recruit and build a business, that slimy little network marketing comes in, right? All we want to do is lead by example when people are, and we will go into challenge groups all day and be like, dude, you should be doing this. You're so good. You're better at this challenge group than I am. And we'll create business builders that way, but we'll never just talk to people as if they should be business builders. Okay. We always separate the business and the fitness so that all of our fitness people are here for that reason. If they want to step into the business, then we bring them in close and we teach them how to do it. Long-winded way of saying, eventually you'll get a diamond over here, whether you have to build it or not. But with a spouse, you can build them to diamond pretty quickly once you get into this rhythm. Now, the cool thing about that, oh, and one other point too that I see people do wrong, don't get to solid diamond and just start building your spouse, okay? If you have 10, 12 PS active coaches, I would say, keep your spouse as an emerald and get a big team. Get 20, 25 active coaches, something like that, until you've kind of just been like, you know what, I should be rank advancing by now. When you feel that way and your team is big enough and everything's going great, then you can start recruiting for your spouse. But I think it's ultimately what I say is when you have somebody on your strong leg who's building towards diamond, that's when I start building the spouse account, and I just try to match the productivity. So when they have 4 coaches, I'm going to go recruit 4 here. And they've got, I want the timing to be very similar to where I don't want to strangle this person to have to hold their diamond for 9 weeks because I'm not ready, right? So that's kind of how I would time it. But the biggest part here in the business part is when you have this weak leg, you're building in your 2-to-1 ratio, 2 over here on the strong, 1 here. So everything we do here, like I said, is going to make a cycle. But when you look at a spouse account, we now have a weak leg here on a weak leg here. Okay, so what this comes down to, and the way that we build our team, is we look at how many different cycles we can get out of a person or whatever, right? So for us, we have Jamie just opened her 4th business center. So we have Jamie 1, Steve 1, Jamie 2, Jamie 3, Steve 2, now Jamie 4. So it's like do like that. So when we put somebody down here, that volume rolls up, right? And we stagger it in a way like this to where it's going to make a cycle, go to the next business center, cycle, go to the next business center. That's where the big money comes into play, okay? Jamie's first business center is a monster, pays a ton of money. All the other stuff collectively pays way more than her first business center. So the biggest part of this business is opening business centers. Elite is great, right? Elite is an excellent marketing tool. It's definitely a celebration of all you've done with your team. But as far as money goes, business centers trump everything, right? The more business centers you have, the more times that you can cycle. So here in this example, we have a weak leg on a weak leg. So if I put 5 people here, it's going to make my spouse cycle at $18, give them 90, okay? And then it's going to roll up and do the same thing. So now with just this structure, my 5 people turns into $180 in team cycle bonus in 1 month. You get those people results. Now we're really building, right? Get those people results. And after 3 months, you can be well on your way to paying your whole mortgage when you have a structure like this, right? And 5 people is nothing crazy. That's SC10. So, and that's a high example. Jamie, to put it into perspective, Jamie hit SC5 for 4 years straight and was making several $100,000 after that. Okay, so SC5 has the same compound effect as my example here. So we're not at 2-star yet, or I guess we are, but we haven't shown what it does. So now 2-star. Now I can be a business builder underneath myself. They're going to say, congratulations, you get to open another business. It's the same thing here, and you can put it anywhere in your download. So it's very important where you place it, because if I don't have a spouse, I'm going to put it here. And if I do have a spouse, I'm still going to put it here, but I'm going to hook the volume over there. And that's one of those funky things that you can do in your preferred placement. I mean, don't go messing around with that. Definitely get advice on how you do that. But you can essentially sponsor somebody from any business center and place them anywhere down from that. So for us, when Jamie has 1, and then 2, and then me, and then 2, and then 3, and then me, and then 4. Okay, so this is her main business center, and this is all of ours going down. So if she says, hey, I want more diamonds on this leg, she can place somebody or sponsor somebody in this business center. So when it pops diamond, it goes to the first, and place them here, so that anything that they do, their whole diamond team cruises up like that and pays in volume. That's what we're going for here, okay? So here, in this example, we can sponsor them here so that our diamond makes us 3-star, right, when we make that business center diamond, but we can put it here so that it effectively, the genealogy looks like this, okay? So I enjoy the diamond here. Now I'm 3-star. I'm well on my way to elite at that point, and I have a weak leg on a weak leg on a weak leg. This weak leg becomes the strong leg. This weak leg becomes the strong leg. And this is another reason why if you don't have your spouse signed up, do it right now, because you're not building anything for them. That's why people say sign your spouse up at the top. It doesn't even matter until you actually go for the business. And that's where you're like, you want them to be right there for sure. But in our same example, we throw 5 people here. And as you'd expect, 5 people is $270 in team cycle bonus as it flows up through those business centers. You get them results, and now you're cruising. 3 months of this, and you easily paid your mortgage. 1 year of this, and you're blowing up. Here's the thing. We're not even being a great leader, right? We helped one person hit diamond, fantastic, but this is the kind of money you can hit all on your own, okay? So what's it look like when I have a diamond here, right? So that's somebody who's got a minimum of 12 coaches, right? They have 8 active coaches, 2 of them being emeralds. So that's 12 people's worth of volume cycling at $18 in 3 different business centers. I think it's like $624, something like that. But a diamond in your second business center on your weak leg, when you have a spouse, in this example, will take this number, everything else you're doing, and add a bonus chunk to it. And that's just a diamond. So imagine, and this is why it's so important in this business to it doesn't matter if your friend did this in 6 months and it takes you 2 years. The only thing that matters is that you keep your head down and get here eventually, because it's going to change the entire game when you get here. Because what happens when this person hits diamond? Well, they obviously have what it takes to build this business, and they've proven it, and all they have to do is keep going. So this diamond, if they've gotten results and they understand the business and you've been a good leader to them, they're going to be 1-star, they're going to be 2-star, they're going to be 5-star, and all that volume is going to pay you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, okay? That's one leader blowing up. So our whole goal is to open these business builders, open these business centers, get everybody results, consistently add people, and run with the runners. It's as simple as that. Yes, it's a long-term play, and that's what weeds most people out. But the cool thing about this business is anything that's really hard, embrace the shit out of it and get good at it, because it's what's weeding everybody else out, okay? The reason that not everybody if this business was super easy, everybody would be making $500 a month, and nobody would be making $2 million.
Right.
That's anything that's hard, be like, I'm going to get good at this because all you guys are not, okay? That's Success Club is the main thing that way. So this is our whole plan. This is what we want to do. And like I said, at this point, you're a 3-star diamond. You're building tons of volume. You can go to elite very quickly from here. And anybody who wants to build the business has the same exact game plan. And that's an important point, because all the hard things between 0 and diamond, all the things between diamond and 2-star, take note of them, embrace the struggle, and really, be very conscious of what you did to navigate those struggles, because that's your learning or teaching moments for your team. That's where we'll go in and say, hey, this problem that you had, everybody has it. This is how I got around it. If that doesn't work, come back. And most people are like, yeah, that worked great. So instead of having our leaders struggle for a month or 2 in the same things that we struggled with, by being a good leader, all you're trying to do is make their route to where you are easier than it was for you. That's all really leadership is. So pay attention to all the hard things, embrace them, put your head down, put the work in, and do it. Because I can tell you, this is not hard. It's not hard at all. What makes it seem hard is people failing around you constantly. Okay. The only reason everybody's failing is because nobody's doing shit. Okay. It's way too easy in this business to pretend like you're working. We've got coaches, Diamond, Star Diamond, whatever, that work harder to pretend that they're doing the work so that we're not like giving them tough love than actually doing the work. Well, guess what? Numbers don't lie. If you're doing the work, your team cycle bonus is going to be consistently going up every quarter. That's how this goes. That's how it works when you're being a good coach. So this whole plan is what everybody needs to follow. And I think you guys should get really excited about that, because I'm being very truthful when I say nobody's doing these things. Nobody's pushing hard for this. People are sitting there and they're saying, okay, this is so exciting. I want to make big money. Ooh, I got to go talk to strangers? Nope, not doing it. Like that, 95% of people are gone just because of that, right? So those are the real big things I want you guys to focus on. Before I move on a little bit, got a little bit more content for you guys. Does anybody have any questions at all? And don't be afraid of questions, because I used to sit in class and think that everything I had was a stupid question. And then I would sit there and think about that stupid question for like 3 weeks. And I wish I would just ask my professor.
Okay, I have one. So yeah. I know about like sponsoring, and I teach my team like when you get to certain spots, like how to sponsor it, but put it on a week leg. But I guess I don't do that with like when I'm rebuilding my first business center. I've never heard to graphically put it under my third. That's what you're saying, like my second or my third graphically, but sponsor it by my first.
Yes, and you can only do that if your other business centers are going up to that leg. Okay, so right. If you've got all these business centers coming off this pretty weak leg, if you try to put somebody in your first on your weak leg, absolutely put them all the way down. And if you go on your strong leg, you can't. I mean, you can go all the way down, but you don't want to. So here's a crazy thing, okay? My second business center is Emerald, and I have 2 coaches in there. And genealogy-wise, I have 80 on one side and 80 on the other, because I opened it 6 months ago, and everywhere Jamie's placed anything, the volume's gone all the way down to that bottom business center. Well, now that we open our 4th, I mean, I still haven't done it. It's so embarrassing. Because Jamie always opens the business centers, and now she's like, oh, you're the business center guy. You open it. I'm like, okay. Now it's Saturday. I still haven't done it. But so this 4th business center is going to go underneath my second in the same way. So now that we have a business center lower than my second, we're done placing in my second at all. Nobody will ever be placed there. Sponsored there, sure. Eventually I need to get it to Diamond so that it makes $18 cycles. But I'm literally capping as an Emerald every week. I've got 2 people in there, okay?
Got it. I've never heard that before. That's amazing. Okay.
So the way to do it is go into your... With individual people, it only matters if you have multiple business centers. Otherwise, you're doing this for a business center, and then you're just sending a share card out through that business center, right? So, but if you're sponsoring and placing in 2 different spots, go into the coach ID,
okay,
and then don't worry about what leg it is on you. So if it's on your right leg that ultimately we're going down, you put the coach ID of who you want it under. So if that's your 3rd business center, that's that coach ID. And you pick whatever leg in that business center is weak, okay? And it will automatically roll up and default to put that person in your first business center on your right side. So even if you say, hey, I want this in my 3rd on the left, when it shows up in your sponsorship drill down, it's going to be on your first on your right.
Got it. Yep.
Okay. So yeah, so that's once you have the 3rd business center, everybody you go back. So it's really cool. And guys, this is a really important point, because most people in Beachbody, there's superstar diamonds that don't know this. Okay,
yeah,
we would have hit
game changer.
We would have hit superstar probably a year and a half, 2 years ago if we did this, because we've got a second business center that's 6-star. Great, that does nothing for us, right? So I'd rather, we were sitting at 12 and 6 for the longest time. I'd rather be at 18 and 2.
Right.
Whatever, so
because it's the same, it's not changing. Like typically what people think is you'd want more monetarily wise, you'd want more stars in a second business center, but like with this, you can have both.
Yeah, they're effectively in the second business center. I'm not just getting the credit for the diamond. I put the credit for the diamond where I want. So it's a really cool, and if you want to dive really deep onto this stuff, there's a certain time to build for rank. And what it is when you have, so like your third business center, how long have you had it open?
Since like last September.
Okay. How many people are in there?
I don't know, like
Guesstimate.
25, 30.
Okay. So that's the kind of the number where I look and I say, okay, who's building?
Yeah.
And I look and I see, and if I've got diamond on one side and two people cruising for it on the other side, I'm done placing there.
Sure.
Okay. Because diamond is seemingly built in. At that point, I'm going to wherever I want rank and I'm putting everybody there. So first business center probably, and I'm still putting them down there. I'm still placing all the volume down there, but I'm going to put my diamonds up top rather than having a third business center that's 4-star or whatever.
That's amazing. Okay.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even know this until like a year ago, and it changed.
Well, that makes me feel a lot better, but yeah. Okay.
Well, for the first time, we were like, oh, yeah, we actually should be superstar diamond. We never wanted to be because we thought we were going to be losing volume. We don't want to do that. You can have both. So, and that's an in-depth conversation, obviously, but it just shows there's so much more going on behind the scenes than you can realize until you experience it. Like
there's so much potential in the comp plan that is not
so much. People aren't even tapping into that stuff, you know. We're allowed to have 25 business centers a piece. We have 6 total between the two of us. So like our main focus is getting people in, getting them all results, opening business centers.
Yeah.
That's the whole game here. So one other thing I want to talk about is leadership. People ask me about leadership all the time. Basically what I explained earlier is leadership is not, I mean, it is, you know, reading a John Maxwell book and getting better, but it's more about, like I said, taking your personal experiences, working one-on-one with the people that are showing up. Don't work one-on-one with people that are not showing up. You will find as you go, your coaches love you. Great. They want to hang out with you. Great. They're going to pretend that they're business builders so that they can hang out with you. A lot of them will do that. So we say, okay, if you want to hang out, you need to hit Success Club first. And then I'll hang out with you all day long. As long as you're showing up for your business, I will also show up for your business. And when people really prove it to us, and keep in mind, usually we make them kind of work for it a little bit. Like I won't have any conversation with anybody until they're, and keep in mind, I'm the business guy. It would be really wrong if Jamie took the same approach. But I don't talk to them at all until I'm ready to like show them the big picture. And I'll take an emerald to 6 coaches and be like, okay, I know you're really excited for Diamond. Diamond's the starting point, and we need to make a new goal, okay? So, and with any goal, you really have to make sure that when you set a goal, you have to become a new coach every time. Like if your goal is 2-star, you have to be willing to help diamonds work their business on top of yours. If your goal is 5-star and you want to be elite, you have to be able to do that on a massive scale, and you probably need to up your recruiting numbers to SC10 at least too. So you need, when you have these big goals, and like, so when you hit diamond, great, make a new goal, become a better person to go get that goal. If you don't change, and you're not bettering yourself, it's too easy to slip back into not, you know, losing motivation or whatever, and then your team just implodes. So if you can like your whole team is built off motivation, and this is 100% your job to keep them motivated. Now, I get it. A lot of people won't be motivated, and that's totally fine. You got to give yourself grace in that sense. But you also need to make sure that people that are on the right track constantly have you. They constantly have your leadership, you leading from the front. So for vitals, your vitals and waking up in your routine in your organization is 100 times more important if you've got big goals, because all of your people need to see something that truly motivates them, not somebody who's coming back and be like, I was gone, giving myself grace, unplugging. That's not leadership. That's what anybody can do. Leadership is like, I could have unplugged and I didn't. I found a way to honor my family and unplug for 8 hours, and then I did a 2-hour power at night so I didn't miss my day. Like that's really setting the bar for people. So it's really as simple as that. But just know, if you're getting everybody results, it's going to be easier for them. When they reach out to people and say, hey, do you want to join, after they've shown their progress photos, they're going to get a lot more yeses. If they don't, they're going to get slapped in the face with no's. And you just have to know that. Like, I have a buddy who's lost a tremendous amount of weight. He's ready to launch his Beachbody. I mean, he's lost like 75 pounds. So he's ready to launch his Beachbody career, but he's slipped for the last couple months. And so he wants to show these awesome progress photos. I'm like, hey, buddy, your progress photos end in January. It's April. People are going to kind of wonder where you're at now. Why don't we get back on the bus so that you can make a continuing progress photo and then launch it when people are poised to be like, that's impressive. You know, that you want your marketing approach on this to be bulletproof, so to speak. Another thing, well, I said this, teach anybody who is running, teach them one-on-one, separate business and fitness. So for us, that's a business builders page. Rachel knows all about that. I would do that. If you have anybody interested in doing this, you don't have to require Success Club right off the bat. But essentially for us, the point of a business builders page is to say, hey, this is what you need to do to succeed. I want to guarantee that you're on track for success. If you stay in this group and hit Success Club, you're on track. And everything else we'll learn, we'll build, we'll do it together. And if you're not going to hit Success Club, you're not going to stay in this group because you're behind. I'm not going to guarantee that you're on track to be a full-time coach when you're not hitting Success Club. This whole group is for people that are totally committing to it. So that's what we do. We require Success Club to do it now that we have people that are hitting Success Club. If you don't have that, you can take like-minded people, but just know that the ultimate point of this after a couple of months is to have a group where everyone's hitting Success Club together or striving for it, right? So that's how we teach people one-on-one. We do a lot behind the scenes too. Like the one-on-one component of that is behind the scenes. You can do check-ins one-on-one, but really the cool thing is you can take content from let's say Rachel's my PS coach and I talk with her and I'm like, okay, Rachel sucks at this. She's amazing at this. I'm going to take that whole conversation then and make a post in my business builders page and just be like, just checked in with Rachel. She sucks at this. And I want to talk about that because everybody sucks at this. I sucked at this. This is how I got around it. She's really great at this. And that's amazing because you guys should be doing more of this because I found success in that too. You can use that content, that personal content, and that will resound way more heavier than a Lindsay Matway training will. They don't even know who Lindsay Matway is, right?
Right.
So that's the kind of approach where we take one-on-one, but we also build it into a business community. And I tell you what, when you guys have a business community, even a couple people hitting Success Club and working together, you're going to blow up. You got 5 people in there. Their goal is to be diamond, solid diamond, 2-star. So 5 people's 5-star diamond, right? If they're all on the same page doing the right stuff. So that's kind of how we structure that. Have a very organized month. Jamie's horrible at this. Okay? It's a shock that we're at where we are. But the more organized you are, the easier it is for your team to duplicate. Yeah. And that's just very straightforward. You know, if you are a jumble, getting your stuff together, if you slap groups together with no structure, they're not going to be very great. Now you're teaching your team to not run very great groups. If you're chasing Success Club at the end of the month, your team's going to do that and they're going to miss Success Club every month. So our goal is to hit Success Club in the first week of the month. And even when we were hitting just SC5, Jamie would do it in the first week of the month. And then the rest of the month, she would help all the coaches that want to do this hit Success Club. If you're chasing it at the end of the month, you're working 10 times harder than you need to, because all that means is you haven't been having very productive conversations for the previous couple months. So if that's where you're at right now, work harder than you ever have to hit Success Club now and immediately go into hitting Success Club the first week of May. Take no time off. Get those Success Club numbers at the beginning of the month, and your team then will have your assistants to do it. And that's the thing is, when you're doing it that way, when you're counting on people to give you Success Club this month because you started talking to them 2 months ago, that's healthy. If you're reaching out to somebody and asking them to buy a challenge bag, it's kind of a dick move, because for most people, it's you're trying to decide that they need to work on their fitness instead of them, right? And for a lot of people, it's like, okay, how much is this? $250. We're like, well, I don't get paid for a couple weeks, so it's not going to happen, right? And then you're not setting yourself up to be able to follow up with them at all. So that's where, when we reach out to people now, it's to build a very sometimes it's just to get their eyes on us. You know, see what we're doing, see what Jamie's doing in her stories, see that she's obviously running challenge groups. When you use your stories that way, it's basically an open invitation to everybody. You don't have to personally do it as much as you're like, hey, you know, I meet people on Instagram, I help them lose weight. Here's 10 of my girls, here's some progress photos from our previous challenge group, here's me getting my workout. You just invited your whole Instagram to that, right? And not like people are going to be flinging themselves at you, but when you see people, you can see the traction. You can see who people who like your posts that are transformation posts or Beachbody type things. You can see whose eyes are on your stories every time. You know who's supporting you without raising their hand and saying, I'm in. Those are the people that you need to start your conversations with, and make sure, and when you're proactive with hitting Success Club, you don't need them to sign up right now, right? You need them to sign up in 2 months. And when you do it that way, they have all the time in the world to see your process, trust in your process, see tons of evidence that your process works, and really like kind of get to know you as a person without even having to talk to you. So when you build your warm market, we take cold people and we try to make them warm. So we're constantly signing up people from our warm market. If you feel something's very cold, it's probably inappropriate to invite them to anything unless they're all over your stuff and they're asking for it, you know? So that's kind of the way to always hit Success Club and be super proactive with it. And really organizing your month is the only way to do that. The final tip I have for you guys, never, ever miss an event. I know it, like every single event is guaranteed growth for your team. Not just because you are learning more, but it's also because if your team's coming with you, they're learning more, they're getting high level training, and you're making this real for the very first time for a lot of them. Like this community gets way more powerful when you see people face to face. That's why doing retreats like this is a huge deal, because you get to hang out and we learn very quickly, like, you know what, we love all these people. So when they want us to work on their business for them, we're like, yes, down. You were at a retreat, like you are one of my people. I'm in, I'm gonna do everything I can for you. You don't do that kind of stuff and you don't get that FaceTime. You really are kind of keeping them at a distance. And I know social media is great at connecting people, you know, really, really well. But it's not the same as face-to-face. So never miss an event. We had the only event that we've ever missed was this Success Club trip because we had a baby. Like right. That's it. You know, even when I was working a different job and we would have an event in Dallas or whatever, I would fly out after work on a Friday night and not take time off and to be there for one day and fly back with Jamie on a Sunday. And it built our business massively because we were always both there. Our team started coming. And then when they saw the whole team coming, everybody was there. Now we're putting our whole team in front of very high level training. And that's a great thing to do, right? So a lot of people are like, oh, you know, I got to miss this one just because of this little thing. And it's like, great, you're basically turning your back on all the growth that's guaranteed to happen for your team. Know that happens every single time you miss an event. And that's what sucks for us. It's like we miss an event. We know that we're missing out on growth opportunities to connect with the new people that we've never seen before, you know? So that's a very, very important point. But that's all the content I have. I kept it under an hour. That's
oh my God. Amazing. Do you guys have any questions?
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit more of a personal question. My business, I'm trying to relay everything over to the way mine is structured. My business is structured a little bit different. When I signed up as my husband. So I built him to 2-star. I did, and obviously my spouse account in my name was one of the diamonds. I opened my second business center. And so I'm at the point where I'm trying to figure out, you know, if I hit Success Club every month, where should I be putting him? Do I put Success Club 5? Like, do I make, obviously I make him a solid diamond, me a solid diamond, and then do I just do everything like Success Club in the second business center? Because it all then correlates back up to him. And
so hold on one sec. I always draw these things up because they'll tell you exactly where to do it. So he's up top.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then are you on his strong leg, weak leg? Like, how does his volume look?
Good. Rachel built, I mean, I have like,
she's on my like strong leg.
Yeah.
Now strong leg.
Okay. So he is on your strong leg.
Yes. So
okay.
Her,
Kathy,
right or left? On the weak leg.
Weak leg.
So you're on his weak leg, regardless of what that is. So you're here and you have a second business center.
No, it's in his name.
He has a second business center. He is 2-star.
Yes. But
is it underneath you or underneath?
Yes.
Underneath you. So it's on your weak leg.
Yes.
Okay. And what rank is his second business center?
Nothing right now.
Okay.
It's just a coach right now because I kind of don't. I've been hitting like SE10 in my account because I didn't really know.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. I mean, spouse accounts are just things to build volume in, really. I'll never be elite, unfortunately. So, in fact, I've only ever hit Success Club 1 month, and that's because Jamie wanted to make me team leader. So
for those points. That's so funny.
So I have like 16. Here's the funny thing. I have 16 coaches and my account makes about $4,000 a week. So there's a lot more going on here than you can think, you know? Okay. So what's your rank in your business center?
Mine is currently Ruby. I'm giving it back to Diamond.
Okay. And he is lifetime 2-star.
Lifetime 2-star.
Current
Diamond. Yeah.
Okay. And his team cycle bonus, where's that at?
It fluctuates, but it's never really over 100.
Okay. So so let me think. So this is basically what yours looks like, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. And you're asking where to put people?
Yes.
So,
like because I'm consistently signing up probably about SC12.
Yeah.
I just don't know, like on average.
okay. So get yours huge, right? Get that diamond and then solidify it.
Okay.
And then I would keep placing people where you need to, knowing that this is also your strong leg, right? Or did you flip it already?
No, it's not flipped yet.
Okay, because we flipped ours. I mean, we build week.
I told it'll flip. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll flip. So, what I would do is anybody that you're putting here, give them all to make him emerald.
Okay.
So first of all, make yourself solid diamond.
Okay.
Okay. Then make him emerald.
Okay.
Okay. And anybody that you sign up on this leg, place them one way or in the same way. She'll have to teach you that. So what you're doing is you're sending a share cart through your business center.
Okay. Your name, but it will graphically be underneath second
him.
business.
Right.
It's
so
like the best of three worlds.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're sending the share cart through yours, and then when he signs up, it goes to your placement. It says, okay, where do you want him? And that's where you have his coach ID plugged in and one of these legs. Keep in mind, this gets really confusing because anybody that you're signing right here, now you're going to have a break where all of these coaches are actually sponsored in place, and anybody who is added is going to actually be down here. Now, it doesn't matter, but when people are like, how's my volume? Sometimes it can look backwards because you're like, well, they're on my right leg, but they're actually on his left leg on your right leg. So their strong leg is left, not right. So that's where you got to look. But yeah, that's what I would do is get solid diamond, make him emerald, place everybody here, go back and forth as far as this goes, placing them here. And then as soon as his team cycle bonus creeps up above $100, $150 in this account, start pushing him to diamond.
Okay.
So, or unless you need him to be diamond, then you can just put like all of that is on your weak leg anyway. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's what I would do. But yeah, all you do is like, hey, where's your next business center going when you hit 2-star? There. You know what I mean? And then you got that. Mm-hmm. And where's your next one going when, his or yours or whatever hits 2-star?
Volume, yeah.
You're just doing it like that. So all you want to do is constantly be building one leg instead of two, right? So when you have them stacked up, you can build one and have what you did previously still build the other one. And here's the other thing too is when you have leaders, this becomes a lot more confusing because, Amy Rada is on the weak leg of our second business center, okay? So you can imagine how much volume a top 10 coach brings through your business. And it flips everything to where our weak leg is our strong leg because she's top 10 and we've been building diamonds to match a top 10 coach. Not going to happen. Right. So that's where you look at this stuff. You can be like for us, I can say, okay, weak. Oh, Amy's here. Strong, weak. Yeah. So now instead of a 5-cycle spot, I have a 3-cycle spot. Horrible. No, it's great because obviously she's doing a ton of volume. Right. So you can flip that
200 ratio easily.
Yeah. So really, the way I look at it pretty simply, when you want to make 50 grand, you do everything that you're doing right now, everything that I drew up, perfect. That's going to get you there. When you want to make, I should say that really will carry you much further. But when you want to make millions or $1 million a year or something like that, and I know that seems far away, but it's not. You just keep doing this stuff and it will blow your mind, right?
Right.
Honestly,
I've only been doing it 6 years is not a long time.
It's not. No. I mean, like, for what we make in a week, it's stupid.
It is stupid.
Really stupid. So, but what you want to do is ultimately, this is how our business, this is how we build. We open business centers, we plug in people, we help those people hit diamond, and then ultimately we're looking for elite coaches. So when I map out our business center, this is what my goal is, right? Because when I have an elite coach on a line, on a leg,
you're good.
I'm not building there anymore, ever. You know, unless I need a diamond or something like that. So that's when you really get to, and on a much smaller level, when you're looking for leaders, it's the same thing. But like all of these people that are diamonds that you're helping solidify and, you know, learn how to build for team cycle bonus, the next goal is 2-star. The next goal is 5-star. Like if they're here in 2 years still doing the same thing, your diamond page is going to look like this. That's just how it goes. And it's not hard. It's just a long-term goal. And that's what messes with people's minds. You know, like getting in the Millionaire Club is not hard. It's just a battle with you mentally believing that you can do it or not. Because somebody who believes that they can do it is going to go for it. And somebody who doesn't believe that they can do it is going to invite every single excuse in the book as to why they can't do it. It's a lot, like looking back on it in hindsight, it blows my mind because it's easy. It just took 6 years. You know, it's literally our body of work is the same thing that you've already done. We've been doing it for longer.
Right.
Like that's really how you have to look at it. And we've gotten better too. I mean, that's the biggest thing is where you're at right now. If you were to look at yourself compared to Jamie and you'd be like, well, I'm not Jamie. You're on your way to being Jamie. Like when Jamie was at your stage in the business, everything she did was identical to where you are right now. Like the compound effect is what makes this nuts. It's not that we were struggling to hit Success Club and now we bring on 200 coaches a month and that was our timeline. That's not it at all. We do the same stuff. We're just gotten better and better at it. And we've gotten better ourselves as far as like being leaders. Like,
right.
You know, being able to like own your voice and talk to your team confidently and place business centers, they're going to trust you and they're going to do everything you say. If you don't know that stuff because you didn't learn it, you're going to try to have that conversation. They're going to be like, I don't really think she knows what she's talking about. Right. Like, so that's just how it goes. That's why if you're trying to explain things, you constantly need to have a good understanding of where you're going, not just where you're at. Right. So yeah, I'm glad you asked because it's important to know where to place people and just know like that it can be really confusing, but it's super lucrative to place people down like that for sure.
Steph has a question. Go
ahead.
Can
I just ask a quick question?
Yeah.
So are you guys, when you're signing up people, are you signing up challengers and converting them to coaches, or are you signing up discount coaches?
We sign up everybody. It like, honestly, that conversation can go many different ways, and we kind of just embrace whatever people want to do. Like a lot of people are afraid of the title of being coach unless they understand, like they're a really practical person that's not super self-conscious. They're like, yeah, I want a 25% discount. But if there's somebody who's like, no, I don't want to be a beach body coach. I just want to do the program. So we're like, great, be a challenger. Because the goal here is doesn't matter where anybody starts. I want to get them results because then they're going to keep buying. And when they keep buying, it's always obvious to get the discount and become a coach. Right. So yeah, we do every single thing. I want people on my team that just want to energize. I want people that are going to work on the gym and never do a program, but they love Shakeology. Like anything that anybody wants, I'm going to use that as a foot in the door and then kind of get them results and like introduce them to all Beachbody is. And that's kind of our approach. So yeah, challengers, coach, doesn't matter, whatever they want to do.
Awesome.
Yeah. So ultimately for me, the way that I see it is like, I have a problem with success starters. And I have a problem with that because it's a very, very limited, success starter is somebody who can work on themselves while constantly helping or while simultaneously helping other people do it. That's not very easy, right? Mm-hmm. So we don't push everybody to be success starters because if you don't really understand the business, I want you to go through the process of being in a successful challenge group so you understand the business and before you ever step foot into it, you know? So, and the last thing I want to do is take a new coach and being like, hit Success Club, be a success starter. And I'm like, oh, this is network marketing, not fitness.
Right.
So that, for me, it's like it's a kind of a fine line there. But yeah, we get tons of success starters just because people have been following us for 2 years and they want the business. They understand the fitness has to come simultaneously. So they're just willing to work harder and do both at the same time. Great. But I'm never going to like require people to do that.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys have any more questions at all? I have tons of time. I sent Jamie to Costco, so she'll be back in like.
So when you guys are signing up, let's say you're signing up a coach right off the bat, do you get them in the boot camp and immediately send them coach training and whatnot and have them start doing that too? Or do you have them just focus on like their own goals first?
I really
work the business.
What's that?
Somebody who wants to work the business.
So I don't have a great answer for that because that's all Jamie. That's where I don't know if she still uses Voxer. She did for a long time. She just pair people up. So if we have 3 runners or whatever in our challenge group and they're killing it, that's the first thing. If they're not killing the challenge group, I don't give a shit. Do you think that you can work the business, right? But if they're killing the challenge group and she sees that promise, then she'll say, okay, I'm going to kind of train you guys one-on-one. We want to hit Success Club. This is now the benefit of being a success starter. That's when she'll kind of introduce that when they've already vocalized that that's their goal. But then we'll just kind of pair up those couple people that have that same mindset of doing it together. And that's a really successful way to do it because we've had a lot of very successful duos start in challenge groups together. Like Amy and Taylor are 2 of our elite coaches, and they started being success partners in a challenge group. And they literally just use that competition, camaraderie, whatever.
Them did that.
Right? Take that all the way to the top. It's funny because they just stopped doing their calls together like 6 months ago.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, you guys are both elite. You can maybe run your own call. But yeah, so we try to find mindsets and find people that are willing to work hard and like they're similar that way, and then we pair them up, and that's when Jamie will come in and train them one-on-one. And as far as like literature or whatever, yeah, we've got all that crap, you know. But I think it very easily can become very overwhelming. So we try to simplify it and like, hey, if you want to run next month's challenge group, give me 3 people. If you want to sign them up and work the business, we're going to, you know, I'll help you, show you how to sign them up or then take this training to learn a little bit about your back office or whatever. But we don't just kind of throw the book at them right away. But again, yeah, that's kind of Jamie's whole thing. I mean, I know it's a one-on-one thing is the power of it for sure.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for hanging out with us. And we were like all looking at each other during this. We had one other call and she really talked about like restructuring groups to get results. And it was like almost like you and Jen like talked beforehand. Like I'll just everything you said built off of her call to a T. So I know we're leaving with so many action items that will blow up our business. So I mean, it was cool. Like when I saw you at Super Saturday to get to say like last time you did a mentor call with me and like what happened in that 6 months. It's like it's insane. So
yeah, having the business structure is what pays you all the money.
Right.
I mean, and getting people results. Like it's where we open businesses and we fill them with volume. Yeah. And it's as simple as that. And I think there's so many different perspectives on the same thing that you can, you know, watch 10 different trainings that are all talking about the same thing and they somehow have different points that are important to all of them. But yeah, that's anybody who's really successful at this is focusing on those very simple things.
Yeah. And you are very like gifted in the fact that you can like make that. I mean, it's simple, but to be able to present that in a simplistic way, we're very grateful. So thank you
my pleasure.
so much. Enjoy the rest of your day and tell Jamie I said hi.
I will. You guys too. Thanks.
Bye, Steve.
Yeah.